Action. We are the Hutchinsons. Nice to meet you.
I'm Steven.
I'm Ashley.
We own 5 acres in the Pacific Northwest, and we're gonna be taking you on our journey to start a homestead and build a barn dominion. So we wanted to tell you a little bit about ourselves.
We met in high school. We lived in California. That's how we met each other. We met senior year of high school.
There are some stories that we met earlier, but
yeah. Okay, we can talk about it now. What's your first memory of me? I think that would be kind of fun to think about.
my first memory of you would be the first day of senior year when we were in our government class, 4th period, 2012.
Oh yeah.
Now they know how old we are. And we were going over attendance with our favorite teacher, Miss R, shout out. And she said your name in a Scottish accent because your last name was Wallace at the time. So she said, Ashley Wallace. That was
Dead on, nailed it.
terrible. But from what I have been told, we met, what was that, sophomore year? Or
Well,
you knew of me.
I remember you when we did summer school.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I first heard about you sophomore year when I moved to California. I wasn't.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, you're so great. And I remember someone talking about you. I was like, no, he sounds lame. I think I even looked you up in a yearbook because I was in the yearbook class, like for English. I didn't take a yearbook, but I took so I had to look you up through there, and I was like, oh my god,
Hideous.
ugly. Never will marry that guy. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine. And then senior year, we did summer school together.
Yes.
But different classes. I was hanging out with a guy friend at the time, sitting on the little benches in the schoolyard, and it's nice because it's California. So it was our first day there, and I remember you with a hoodie on and just super because you did not want to be there.
That was ruining my summer, having to get up early.
And I'm like, oh god, this guy's lame. And I don't really remember you. I remember you being in my class. After that, I don't remember. We just started because we had a mutual friend.
And now that I remember, the Ashley Wallace thing happened later on.
Yeah, well, because it was.
Yeah, we had
that was the main focus. I'll give you that.
My best buddy at the time, because all of my good friends did not go to high school with me. He was more interested in you, and that's how I really started hanging around you. And then we did our senior year getaway thing. And it's like, she's the one. She likes Mustangs.
Yes, that's what it really boiled down to was, I don't know what, I think he honestly was setting us up for our future. He must have known, dude, match made in heaven.
Even though he wanted you first.
Yeah, but it's fine. So.
Thanks, bud.
No, that's pretty much, we were waiting, we had a senior getaway, we were at an amusement park, the friend asked, oh my gosh, you have to tell Steven what your dream car is. So I was like, oh my gosh, I love Mustangs. I like a midnight blue, blah blah blah, fastback, blah blah blah. And then you're like, oh my gosh.
My dad has one of those in his garage
right now. Even I remember when Miss R was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it makes sense. Everything just then we didn't really we kind of lost contact for a little bit after that, after we graduated.
Yeah, somebody went back to their ex.
Yeah, so I broke up with the boyfriend I was with at the time. Oh, and then we went to the lake together.
Yeah, we did.
The first one we brought the friend that brought us together, pretty much. And then we had to hush because you did have a girlfriend at the time. That. Just didn't know me but didn't like me because how much I liked her. And then we went to the lake together. Yeah, we did. The first one we brought the friend that brought us together. The second one we brought the friend that brought us together. And then we had to hush because you did have a girlfriend at the time. That just know me but didn't like me because how much the friend talked about me because I'm so great. Why we lost contact. I went back to the boyfriend.
Yep.
And then just like out of the blue, I had this feeling like, I'm like, you know what? It's been like a month or two at this time. I want to see how Steven's doing. He has to be out of trouble at this point with the girlfriend. And he was like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it was like that day.
Or like that day or the day after.
Yeah.
You were like, oh my gosh, me and the girlfriend just broke up. I'm like, shut the front door. And then I worked at Burger King at the time. So I was like, oh my gosh, come to work. And then you would visit me.
It was all the time.
Yeah, but for sure we would at least hang out once a week because I still had the boyfriend.
Scandalous.
I know. And then and a lot of people in that small town, small big town, thought we were messing around, but we weren't. And
we waited.
Yeah, we were good people. I don't want that karma.
Oh.
And then I became the non-date girl.
Mm-hmm. The non-date thing was we were going to restaurants and getting ice cream, but we were just friends. We were not paying for each other, so we were not on a date.
Back then that's what made it a date.
Yes.
Is when the guy paid, or if you know.
Sounds pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
But guys used to be gentlemen.
What else? Oh, and then so then my mom and I peer pressured you into well, we were pretty much together.
We were hanging out a lot, basically boyfriend and girlfriend, but I had never officially asked.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little ridiculous, but
we needed a date.
We needed a date. So her mom and her started going real thick on the, oh, your best friend's here.
Yeah.
Oh, Steven, oh, he's such a good best friend.
My best friend.
So I got the hint, and Walking Dead Day season 4 premiere, I asked her to be my girlfriend at the end of the episode.
Do you remember you like how making out?
It was magical.
Yeah.
After that, we were dating for a while, and then her mom decided to move from California up to the Pacific Northwest.
Well, was in the middle of divorce.
Yes.
And that's what pushed her into.
Didn't know if you wanted to go there or not.
That's okay. We're spilling all the tea.
Yes.
So she was in the middle of divorce.
Yep.
Back then, it was just my family out here. So she just wanted to be closer to family, and so before we were even a year of dating, we had to move out together. And
yeah, it was a big decision. I ready to pay for my skydiving license, and I had to kind of pivot, and we got our first apartment, and shortly after got our first dog.
Mm-hmm.
She's been riddled with allergies and health issues ever since, but we love her.
She's a really good dog, like a very good dog.
We both started working and commuting to the Bay Area for me, and doing dental stuff for her. We eventually got out of the apartment and moved into a smaller apartment with a roommate,
I forgot about that.
because we were kind of in limbo, and we were going to get into a bigger house, 5-bedroom rental house with 2 of our friends and us in a house. Out of that whole year, we probably had 2 parties a weekend.
Yeah, we were the party house.
It was the very stressful year.
Our poor neighbors. Now as parents, poor neighbors are like.
Yeah.
But whatever, we had fun. Hi,
baby. This is Ada. She's our kitty.
She's gonna be 8 this year.
Yeah, we have a 4-pound chihuahua upstairs sleeping with our kid. They get along just fine. But yeah, we were in that house for the year, and during that year, it was 2016, we were 21, had a blast. We went to a bunch of concerts, had a great summer, got married in 110-degree weather in Northern California.
And
it was great.
AC broke too, so it was like really toasty.
Yeah, it was weird how we decided that when we left to go on our honeymoon, we went to Seattle area. Weird how all the dots connected, that we decided California was no longer for us. And my dad kind of decided at the same time. A song came on that it was Metallica, Wherever I May Roam, and it was just kind of hit me in the feels of like, I don't want to be in California anymore. After that song came on, my dad texted me and said, hey, I miss you guys a lot, and we need to chat about some things because I'm thinking about leaving California. So it's kind of crazy how it all happened. And then shortly after that, a couple months later, we decided to move up to the Pacific Northwest. And then a couple months after that, my dad moved to Southern Oregon. Just did that for a while, and my dad was on 6 acres himself in the Medford area. He decided that he just didn't like to be by himself.
Before all of that, we did move. We were kind of in between places, so we didn't know where to live because we wanted to buy a home. That was our major thing. We couldn't afford, with the income that we were making, we could not afford to buy a home. So we found out that we can almost make similar income. A little. I mean, obviously there's a price difference of things.
Driving to San Francisco just in gas.
And the tolls.
It never would have made it to where we could buy a house. So
so my mom pretty much opened her home to us, but it was just me and Steven and Veda, and we lived there for a while.
Yeah, it was September to June.
Bought a house and immediately got pregnant with Delilah, and which we wanted that to happen. I think your dad kind of started feeling lonely after we started having kids.
Yeah.
Or when we got pregnant with Delilah. Yeah. She is a grandpa's girl.
Yeah.
I think just that we would visit often. It was she was little, so it was super easy drive for us. We like driving.
Yeah, we're good road trippers.
We talk a lot, so
yeah.
I think that's what helps. But yeah, so then once we got the house and we had Delilah, and I think when she was almost a year, that's when he was like, I can't be away from all of you guys anymore. We found him a job, kind of. Well, he's an awesome worker, so if he had just word of mouth, and he just got the job because he was a good worker. But he lived with us for a few months, maybe like a summer, and
built a sweet deck.
Yep, and then we got pregnant with Logan. He was like, yep, that's my time.
Yep.
And then he got a rental home because he was trying to figure out where exactly he wanted to stay. We knew that home wasn't going to be our forever home. We outgrew it really fast. Yeah,
1,300 square feet. We want to have an indoor gym. It was difficult living next to a bar.
Yeah, that was a big thing too. And the footprint of it was just a little odd.
During that time, we were doing Spartan races, and we knew that we wanted to get pregnant by the end of 2019. We had changed jobs a couple of times. We were paying for a babysitter so she could work, and come March 2020, everything changed. Don't need to talk a whole lot about what happened.
And especially that I was pregnant, and it was so up in the air how that was gonna be.
Very spooky time back at the beginning of it. Well, you didn't decide to be a stay-at-home. You were let go because you were pregnant during a pandemic. And we decided that we're gonna make it work on one income. And then we kind of started dreaming and realized that we were in a good spot with our family and our opportunities, that we could sell our house and look for some land. So basically, my dad at this point now owns a house in his little town that he lives in. We started talking about selling our house so that we could use the equity on that to buy land and start building a barn dominion. He loved the idea. His only request was that he gets to then live in his own little grandpa flat on the land, and that it's not super far away. So we were like, yeah, that's totally fine. And then he said, you guys can live in my house with me for as long as you need. So that's where we are now. We're living with my dad, going great. Yeah, so we've been living here for about a year, saving money, looking for land. It's been a roller coaster trying to find land. The one that we did find, we found it on her birthday. Mom and dad date. We were gonna go get lunch, and we were gonna look at a couple pieces of land. We were looking at one that was 15 acres, but it
needed so much work. We couldn't even.
It was a gosh darn jungle.
Yeah, there was parts that we were walking on it, like on the land, and it's January, so it's like really yucky.
Yeah.
And we're like walking on pretty much blackberry bushes.
Yeah.
And I'm like bouncing around. I'm like, I'm not even touching the ground. So.
Stuck in my truck. The easement was awful.
Yeah.
So then the one that we looked at afterwards was this 5 acres. We fell in love with it immediately. Great view, great people around, which there's not a whole lot of people very close, but we have ran into them since, and there's some awesome people, awesome community. And so we started talking to our real estate agent, told her whatever it takes, we want this land. It's basically perfect for us right now. And where we are in our lives with our 2 kids and what we want to do with animals and building the house and stuff. And a couple days later, it goes pending.
Yeah. We were so heartbroken.
Yeah, that was a bad couple of weeks.
Yeah, and then everything we looked at, we like it, but it's not that land. We just have, and then like anytime, like at least I would envision land of us living, it was that land.
Yeah. And during all this time, we even went to Montana to look, and we found some cool places out there, but we just realized that I was being a little too gung-ho, and we basically would have been jumping ship again.
With kids.
In a more hostile weather environment.
Yeah.
We love the state. Montana is great, but we were not prepared for living at the top of a mountain on 20 acres in the winter.
A very steep mountain too, like the roads.
It
like would take you 20 minutes just to get down the mountain.
In clear conditions.
Yes.
We love Montana, but it wasn't realistic for us.
I think it would be a really good vacation.
Yes. Big Sky Country is amazing. We were hanging out doing our nightly routine one night, and she was looking on Zillow and realized that the land was active again. It was no longer pending. We were excited again, and we had our ducks in a row this time, and we put in our offer. We got approved. We had the longest escrow period in the world.
Well, that's probably a typical one, but I think we got our end really done quickly.
We are now officially owners of land. We're gonna get started with prep, and our plan at the moment is to build the grandpa flat first and then live in that while we build our barn dominion. But we do need to back up a little bit. Did you want to talk about your...
Yeah, it's all about you. While moving here, his dad's house, I started to think about I want to make my dreams come true. Why not? We're still hunting for land, so it was a great opportunity because I didn't want to get, because any land that we looked at, it was raw land, and we would be lucky if it did have utilities on there. So we just knew once we got the land, we're just gonna be so busy. So I'm like, you know what? I had an itch to do something. Something
more than just a side hustle. Too.
Yeah. My favorite hobby to do is shopping. I love it. I like clothes. I like jewelry. I like all of that. And it was just always my passion. I always will stumbled on an opportunity to learn how to start my online business. And I started a business called RiverBoutique. The little stickers and fun stuff. And my dress is from, I know you can't really tell, but it is a dress I'm wearing. This is a part of it, and I've been loving it. It's been going great. I like that it's pretty much me running the whole thing at this point. And I love it. I get to shop more for other people because I can't keep every item. It's so hard. I want to keep everything, but I can't. But I love it, and I love helping people out with that. And if they have any questions about, I just like shopping with other people too. Just figuring out something that would go great with somebody, and they're I normally shop with my mom, and I love I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, you're so cute, you should wear this. Oh my. So yeah, it's been a really fun journey for me to do this and make my dreams come true.
Yeah, and it's fun for me to watch from the outside because you're doing something that you're passionate about, and your only hobbies were shopping and napping. I'm glad you could make a career out of it.
Yeah, now I can make money while shop. But I eventually would like to have an actual like brick and mortar boutique, and people can online shop and go in and try on some stuff. That's the end goal. Obviously, we probably are going to focus on the barnuminium and the land and the grandpa flat first. Yeah, I think eventually, and then when that's all said and done, I think I'm just gonna be looking at real estate and Rebel River into a shop and expand that way.
If you want some clothes, check it out.
Yeah, definitely. I have a whole bunch of options. Most of my stuff, not all of it, but most of it can go from small to 3X. So I like to have the variety for all the beautiful people out there.
Yep. And it's helping us finance our dreams. So we're going to invest whatever we can into it, and we'll get there. So we are also starting this YouTube channel, obviously, so that we can bring you guys along with us, and
we'll have more stuff. It won't be us talking every
yeah.
We'll just
if
take
you have enjoyed it.
Yeah, if you enjoy us talking, enjoy us so far. Be our friend and subscribe and like our videos.
And you have to smash the
like button. And ring that notification bell.
Yes, that is a thing as well.
What else am I supposed to say? And then also follow us on our social media. Especially go check out Rebel River Boutique. I have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Most of the YouTube thing will be our land, but I guess I'll talk about my stuff here and there.
Any helpful links we will put down below.
If you have any tips of how to continue this process, because this is our first time doing all of it. We have zero experience on any of it. But his dad has remodeled his own home.
Yes.
So we do have help, and we do, my stepdad, that's his career as well. He does more of
home contracting.
Yes, so it's not like we have some help, but also I would love some advice as well. So if you have any advice for us, please let us know. Comment below.
Yep.
And yeah, like we said, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.